I made a video a while back about Cho Sung-hu and the shootings at Virginia Tech. I warned people that the reason that mass murderers like Cho Sung-hu and Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold kill so many people is because they want to become celebrities. They want to be made heroes. And a lot of people misinterpreted that statement as me saying that they were heroes. And Jesus Freak 777 went on this big spiel about how that's not true. But I'm going to link you to the journal of Eric Harris, also known as Reb. And you can read his journal entries. And his journal was written not for himself, but for the world to read after he carried out his acts. He knew that he would become famous, and it says as much in that journal. And all you have to do is read it, and you'll see quite a few things about him. You'll see, first and foremost, that he was an egomaniac, which is obvious. You have to be an egomaniac to go on a killing spree because you have to believe that you are above other people, that they are prey. He was infatuated with the idea of becoming famous. He never actually said that outright, but you can infer it from the context of certain other statements. If you read the thing with that in mind, I'm sure you'll see what I'm talking about. He was not very bright. And that seems to be the thing where everyone diverges with me. A lot of people seem to think he was a very smart guy. And he was above average intelligence. He was of above average intelligence. He was a good student. He seemed to understand some philosophical ideas that a lot of people his age wouldn't be able to grasp. A lot of people far older than him cannot grasp. But it's very clear that he is nowhere near as intelligent as he fancies himself. And it's very clear that he knows it, and it frustrates him to no end. And if you look at the choice of victims in the Columbine massacre, one of the students that they killed was being considered for valedictorian. There was another 15-year-old kid they shot, I think, who was a member of the debate team who was getting straight A's in school. They targeted smart people. They targeted people who had happy social lives, who had artistic talent, who had athletic talent. They didn't just target jocks. I don't know where that misconception comes from. They targeted everyone. It was an indiscriminate killing. They planned on blowing up the school, for fuck's sake. They wanted to beat Timothy McVeigh's record. Let's be thankful that they were so incompetent. But you know what? I don't need to make the case for why Eric and Dylan were fucking nuts. Read his diary. That's all you have to do. Just read the diary. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you can get through it, because it is really poorly written. He has no understanding of syntax whatsoever. His grammar is atrocious. He can't punctuate. He can't spell. He makes excuses for his own poor spelling. What I thought was interesting about Eric, actually, was he had a very self-deprecating sense of humor. He seemed to have a sort of sadistic relationship with himself. He was very abusive towards himself. Even when he was inflating his own ego, it was not without a sense of parody. There was definitely a hint of satire in what he was saying. And I probably would have liked him if I'd have known him. I'm sure he probably would have liked me. I probably would have slapped some sense into his moronic ass, but that's just speculation. But I'm not really here to talk about them because they were obviously people that were pushed to some kind of edge. And that's really the fault of everyone not just them. The primary blame, of course, lies with the people who actually commit the acts. Each individual owns themselves. But there's definitely societal reasons for what they did. And I want to talk about these kids, not just kids, there's adults too, who seem to extol Eric and Dylan here on YouTube. I'll link to all of their profiles once again so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. They're not... Well, they're just really dumb. They're just incredibly stupid. It's really kind of sad to watch them try to justify themselves. A lot of them believe in what they call social Darwinism, or survival of the fittest, and they always list Darwin as their hero. Here's a name that I've never seen on any of their pages, though. Herbert Spencer. For those of you who don't know who Herbert Spencer is, and it'd be a shame if there were many of you, he was the originator of the idea that we now know as social Darwinism. He was the coiner of the phrase, survival of the fittest. Yet I never see his name on any of these people's pages who supposedly believe in social Darwinism, who supposedly believe in survival of the fittest. And I think there's a very good reason for that. It's because they have no idea what they're fucking talking about. They haven't done their homework whatsoever. They embraced a scary idea because they knew it would make them scary. And they wanted attention. Well, I'm giving it to them. I have no compunctions about giving it to them. I hope that they get a lot of attention. I hope I'm not the type of person who would report these profiles to the FBI or to a law enforcement agency. And I don't think most of them should be. But there's a few that probably would warrant some sort of investigation. And I'm not the kind of person that would report them, but if you are, by all means do so, because some of these people facing the authorities about their beliefs on these matters would be just fine by me. Now I should make it clear, now that I've said that you're free to make anyone you want into a hero. This is a country where one of the greatest things about this country is that you can admire Adolf Hitler or you can hate black people. And I know that it's strange to say that's one of the best things about our country, but the very fact that we have those freedoms, even though most of us do not want to use them, is what makes our country so strong. Because we allow our nut jobs to say whatever they want. We say, well, you know what? We're strong enough to ignore those motherfuckers. We don't have to la 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 la. But when someone starts talking about how they admire Eric and Dylan, you have to wonder if they might not be potential dangers. And I think they should be investigated as potential dangers. Not go to jail, of course, not be charged with anything. But I think that, those people are the kind of people you want to be keeping your eye on. We're always talking about warning signs, and could we have seen it coming? Well, you know what? If you want to look for warning signs, there they are. Those are your fucking warning signs. Investigate those fucking people. Because if anyone is like, I think that, it's really hard to know where to draw the line, though. It's such a dangerous thing that I'm advocating here. And I understand that. Because on one hand, if you take it too far, then everyone who plays violent video games, everyone who likes violent movies, everyone who is even just fascinated by violent people. Not admiring them, just fascinated by them, and I happen to be among them. I happen to be someone who is fascinated by events like Columbine, fascinated by serial killers, fascinated by macabre things like that. And I understand the mindsets of those people. I've been in mindsets where I felt like I could go on a fucking rampage. But there is that point, I think, where someone crosses a line, and it's not all of those people, it's a few of them, and I'll put the ones that I think warrant some investigation on the top. Because, you know, Robin McVeigh, for instance, will go around threatening to shoot people. She threatened to shoot me. Several people on MySpace have come to me and told me that she threatened them on MySpace. She makes a habit of going around threatening to shoot people. It's something she does. That's someone who warrants an investigation. When she admires Timothy McVeigh, she admires the Columbine kids, she admires... she has this series of videos on her channel called Evil Men Throughout History, because obviously she admires all of them as well. Most of these people have admiration for Adolf Hitler and so on and so forth. When you start admiring all those people and you go out and make threats, I think that should set off some red flags. I think, you know, there does come a point where we have to say, you know, how free do we really need to be in this instance? Do we really want people to have the freedom to make threats against other human beings? You know, I'm willing to give up that freedom personally for my own safety. And maybe you're not. And I'd like to open a discussion about this, because I can see how someone would be totally disgusted with Columbine or any of those massacres and be totally against what I'm saying right now. And part of me is against it, but, you know, I've been thinking about it all day long. And I'm pretty sure that's the conclusion I've come to. Let me know what you think. I definitely want to have a discussion about this one. Please leave video responses and get my views way the fuck up there. Amazing Atheist, sorry for being so reserved. I meant to come on here to scream and yell. I don't know why I'm being so calm. I guess it's because I've just been seething with fucking anger and disgust all day, and I don't really much feel like being the entertainer right now. Anyway, Amazing Atheist, peace the fuck out.